welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Plow and Pantry, and today I thought I would take you along on a garden tour. This is what I call my transitional garden every year. It is the late September, early October. Things from the summer have either been pulled or are still producing but looking sad, and things from fall have been planted but aren't producing yet. So it's kind of a crossover period. Right here I'm in the watermelon patch. If you followed my garden tours during this year, then you know that I planted a lot of things late. And for some things that worked and some things that didn't. Watermelon was one of those things. And I can't tell you if it has worked. These ones, there's some small ones like mini lubs and things that didn't do as well. But these ones up here, the Blacktail Mountain and the Crimson Sweet, appear to have done well. But they are also starting to kind of turn. Don't know if you can see this. Turn color and get kind of soft, but they are not technically ready to pick yet. And my vines are starting to die before the fruit is ready, which is unusual. One of these also was, probably this one shriveled up right there, was eaten by something like a bull, which I do have problems with. So that is the watermelon. Over here are the yellow wax beans, the Berde Roquencourt. And I have pulled off of these several times. They are loaded, but I just am going to let these dry on the vines right here and collect the seed to use for next year's harvest. Behind me, I'll take you back, are rows and rows of tomatoes. Most of these are not producing tomatoes that are good right now. The nights are too cold, they're mealy. They're also rotting on the vine from splitting. So, but I do have some of the Amish paste are doing well in the back. Over here is the corn. We have harvested enough corn to eat some. I've canned some corn salsa. Most of what's left I will give to the chickens. It's one of the things that worked out decently even though I planted it late. So that one was a-okay. So I didn't realize that my corn was not in shot. So there's where I was, and we've got the yellow wax beans, the watermelon, and there is the corn right next to it. I will be cutting that down the next day or two to finish making corn shocks for the decorations. Okay, just back behind the yellow wax beans, the Berde Roquencourt, is where I planted pumpkins. These were planted very late. They did not do very well. I did get some tiny pumpkins on most of them. Don't know if you can see these. I will pull those off and use as tiny pumpkins in decorations, but they're not, the plants came up healthy. They just weren't able, I think, to produce a lot of fruit this time. And then right over here is where I had planted some extra basil and one pepper plant that I had found on sale. And I just plopped them in there. It was an empty spot and they've been doing great. That's in addition to the basil that I showed in that one video of my mountain of Homestead chores. If you haven't seen that, I will link it, where I took my whole basil bed and hacked it back. This is separate. These were like 50-cent plants and they are doing very well. I'm still getting basil off of them. I did get one red pepper. It's got some more flowers on it. I'm not sure if I'll get more. Next week we're supposed to have one morning that's like 39, and I'm not sure. Peppers don't like cold at all. They thrive in the heat. So I'm gonna move you down. This is more tomatoes back here. My orange peach tomatoes that I still love. They actually did better than a lot of the other ones with the fluctuations in rain and temperature this year, as did my Amish paste. But I'm gonna move you back down that way to some of the other things I planted. Something happened right here to this clip, so I'm just doing a quick voiceover. This was mostly broccoli that I had planted a few weeks ago, and it is doing fabulous now and growing. Has not formed any broccoli heads yet. Hey, the pepper beds are still thriving. I'm still getting a ton of hot peppers and a ton of sweet peppers off of these. I haven't even been watering them, and it's been dry the last couple weeks, but they're still doing great. I'm still getting plenty of peppers, and I probably will until that cold night in about a week. Behind me I have some flowers. That was just I plopped into empty spaces, and I'm just gonna let those bloom as long as they want to. If they reseed themselves, that's fine. I'm not gonna be sad about flowers springing up next year. And now I'm gonna take you over to the lettuces that I planted a couple weeks ago. Okay, so right here is funny. Yesterday, these had not bolted. They were doing great. So this is the bed I planted the lettuce starts I bought in. and there's like a head lettuce, butter crunch, and some romaine. It looks like the romaine is what's bolting. I did also put a few carrots along the outside edge. They sprouted pretty quickly, but they're kind of staying a little bit small, so I'm not sure how they'll do. I might bring some fertilizer out. Every time I say that, I don't make time for it. But some of these I think will be fine. Some of them are gonna bolt. I might cut them off and see if I can keep them from bolting too much. Out here is where I put the seeds that I planted, a bunch of just lettuce seeds that I had. I had 2 of them not come up. One of them I don't remember because the tag was not working well. And one of them was the corn salad, I believe. Yeah. So what I do have that has sprouted is, I should have worn my glasses, black-seeded Simpson, and the Bloomsdale long-standing spinach, and over here is the salad bowl mix from M.I. Gardner. In the middle, just last week, I found some spinach starts at a local store, and so I think it was the co-op I was at, looking for something else, but you know, you stop at the plants. So I got those in the ground. I think that those will probably do fine. I do need to get out here and water this though. Back here, don't know if you can see, that is the basil that I hacked back in that Mountain of Homestead Chores video. It has already put on several new leaves. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with all that. I might make some more pesto and freeze it. I'm not sure if you can see that. This is lettuce that is not doing well because my chickens get out. I have 2 and I clipped their wings and they still get out and they're eating my lettuce. They're leaving everything else alone though, so that's nice. So this is where I planted that second batch of fall crops. We have some cauliflower and some cabbage, some Brussels sprouts, some celery, some kale. This whole roll is kale until the celery. This is curly kale. It's all I had in the store for most of it. And then there's a couple plants of purple kale or red kale. Those the chickens have been nibbling on a little bit. They must like the red kale, but they've left the rest of it alone. This stuff is also thriving. It has not been out here very long and it's already putting on growth. It's already adjusted. It hasn't had much of a transplant shock time. So that's awesome. So over here in this mess is where the cucumbers were. They are finished. I do have some of the tomatoes from my tomato arch there growing out and across the aisle and into here, which is fine. We're actually still getting some decent salad tomatoes. My favorites, the orange Peruche, are seriously doing fabulous and still taste great. They're just getting a little bit smaller. Just getting a little bit smaller as we move on into the cold weather. Back to them. But those are still, they did way better in the weather than the big slicing tomatoes and the paste tomatoes. So it's nice at least to still get tomatoes for the garden. Back in the back row, you'll see the sunflowers. I left a few heads on for the local birds to eat. The rest of them are sitting on my back porch waiting for me to take them off the heads and put them in the chicken winter jar. I'll be taking those down soon, and I will be starting to pull all the summer stuff out and lay down some cardboard mulch and winterize things. Not winterize and like protect from the cold, but I'm trying to do as much as I can to prep for next spring now. So we'll see what actually gets done. Thanks for joining me on the garden tour, and I hope that the next time I see you out here, this stuff is producing super well and everything else is cleaned up. Fingers crossed.